Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new on here, my name is Philip and this is Phil Reacts. On this channel, we dive into the albums, that shaped entire generations. And today, oh man, guys, you guys better buckle up. We are checking out, Electric Light Orchestra's 1975 masterpiece, titled Face the Music. If you think you know ELO, you don't know ELO until you have heard this album. So stick around because some of these tracks shocked me in ways I didn't expect. Yes. Now a little bit of context. I've heard a couple of songs off of this album. I've heard Fire on High. I've heard Evil Woman. Yes, those are the only two songs that I have heard. I've also listened to a couple of single songs from this band, and I love the music. I love the vocals. I love everything about them. So when this was suggested, to me, I stalled a bit. But I was like, nah, I have to get in and listen to this album. In its entirety. Yes. So this album was released in 1975, October 1st. Has 8 songs. Runtime, a little over 36 minutes and 27 seconds to be exact. Yes. So I'm super excited. I'm super stoked. As always, I have the lyrics pulled up, just in case I might need it for my review, my interpretations, for every song, that we listen to. So guys, if you love ELO, if you love Electric Light Orchestra, you better stick around. Let's listen to this album, and let's get the conversations, going down, in the comments. Yes. Without wasting much time, without further ado, Electric Light Orchestra with the album Face the Music. Yes, the first song off of this album is titled Fire on High. Let's take a listen, guys. Okay, let's go. Whoa. Okay. Guys, okay, so that was the first song, off of this album titled Fire on High. Like I said from the beginning, this is one song that I have already listened to. I think it's the song that actually introduced me, to Electric Light Orchestra, and I feel like all I have to say, is that this was a wild ride. Right from the very first, I was thrown into, this kind of mysterious and almost cinematic world. It's like the song itself. It's a story, without words. And honestly, I'm still catching my breath, from it. The opening to me is just so haunting. That eerie synthesizer line, paired, with the, backmasked message. Yeah, if you play it backwards, you hear the music, it's reversible, but time is not. Turn back. I feel like I gives it this, cheeky, almost, spooky vibe. I love how it immediately sets a tone. ELO, this band, Electric Light Orchestra, isn't just making pop songs here. They are experimenting, and it feels like stepping into a different dimension. Now, let's talk about the music. The orchestration, I have to say, is incredible. You've got strings, weaving in and out, electric guitar riffs, that just, hit just right. And a rhythm section that keeps it grounded whilst the layers, float on top. The transitions, from the, orchestral sections into rock-driven parts, are seamless. And that violin solo, guys, that was just, chef's kiss. It's playful, it's dramatic, and technically impressive, all at once. I feel like you can hear Jeff Lynne, thinking in real time, about how to merge, classical and rock, in a way that doesn't, feel forced. Yes. The vocals, if there are any vocals, I feel like the vocals, are a bit minimal, but when that choir, comes in chanting "Fire on High," guys, towards the end, it's like a release, of all that built up tension. I love the fact that it's subtle but effective. You don't need lyrics, to feel the energy and emotion, of the song. The instruments, are the storytellers here. After listening to this song, a few highlights and standout moments for me. The backmask message, in the intro, I feel like that was also clever, and it gives the song character. I also love the dynamic shifts, between the orchestral elegance and rock energy. Definitely kept you on your toes as a listener. The violin and then the cello lines, also add texture and drama, that you don't even hear in rock tracks, from this era. The final choir chant, guys, I loved it. Perfectly ties everything together and gives the track, this epic finish. Yes, overall, the first song off of this album, Fire on High, to me is a masterclass in blended rock and orchestral music. It's experimental, without being chaotic, dramatic, without being over the top, and playful yet sophisticated. Yes. So if you are new to Electric Light Orchestra or ELO, I feel like this song is a perfect example of why they are considered so innovative. They weren't just making catchy tunes. To me, they were creating musical worlds. For me, this track, sits somewhere between a mini symphony and a rock epic, and it's just so fun to listen and dissect. Yes, that's just me. That's just what I think about the song. I've got to ask you guys, what do you guys also think about, the back masking, and how do you feel about songs that are mostly instrumental but still tell a story? Please let me know down in the comment section, but because I'm really curious how everyone experiences this song Fire on High. Please drop your thoughts down in the comment section. We are moving on to the second song, titled Waterfall. Yes, let's take a listen, guys.
So now it's getting late.
Yeah. All right, guys. Yes. So that was the second song, "Waterfall." This I have not heard before. The first time actually listening to it, and I have to say that wow, I loved it. I mean, that was something else, and I mean that in the best way possible. Honestly, I have to say that I mean, this song is one of those no tracks and that's sneaks up on you. It's not. I feel like it's not one of their biggest hits, but man, the way it flows, you can definitely feel Jeff Lynne's touch, all over it. Yes. The vocals, I love that. I definitely love the vocals on the song. Jeff Lynne's lead here, to me, is as smooth and heartfelt, as ever. There is this melancholy quality, to his voice, and that I feel like it really, really captures the mood of the song. I love the fact that it's reflective, a little, bittersweet. The harmonies, are also subtle, but beautiful, layered just enough, to support, his vocals, without overshadowing them. It's a kind of singing that feels, personal, like, he's speaking directly to you, which is to me so effective, for a song, with this kind of, emotional depth. Now the instrumentation, I have to say, this is the classic, ELO magic. You've got these gorgeous orchestral arrangements right from the start. I mean, violins, cellos, blending perfectly with rock elements, like, I mean, the guitar and bass. The song, isn't overly complex, I have to say, but it's incredibly lush. There's a real ebb and flow to it. Like the music, itself, it's cascading. Which to me fits perfectly with the title "Waterfall." And then the outro, the way the guitar and strings fade into each other, leading seamlessly into the next track, was just pure genius. You can tell a lot of thought went into the production here. So one may ask, what is this song all about? What is the Waterfall, all about? Listening to it, I mean, you get this sense of longing and inevitability. To me, it's really about love and human connection, but not in a cheesy way. There is this metaphor of a metaphor. Love can be overwhelming, unstoppable, and sometimes even a little sad. But the lyrics also remind you that without love, without friends or human connection, life loses something essential. It's definitely reflective, it's definitely emotional, and a little philosophical. The kind of song that sticks with you long after it's done. Overall, I'd say Waterfall is an absolute gem. Vocally, it's tender and expressive. Instrumentally, it's lush, it's elegant, and perfectly orchestrated. And thematically, it's deep, without being heavy-handed. I mean, it may not be as famous as, other electric light orchestra songs, like Fire on High. But if you really, really dive into, Electric Light Orchestra's, catalog, this is one of those hidden treasures that showcases why I feel like a Jeff Lynne, and the band are so, are legends. Yeah. But that's just me. That's just what I think about the song. But I'm curious. What do you guys also think? Did you feel the emotional pull? As much as I did. Please drop your thoughts down in the comments. I really, really want to hear your take about it. Yes, we are moving on. To the third song. This song, Waterfall, transitions into the third song, Evil Woman, which I've already listened to. Happens to be one of my favorite songs, from Electric Light Orchestra. So let's dig right in, guys.
You made a fool of me, but the broken dreams have got to
Yeah, the piano. Let's go.
Hey, woman, you got the blues,
Okay.
'cause you ain't got no both are very extreme.
Okay. All right, guys. Yes, the third song, "Evil Woman." Like I said from the beginning, this is one song that I have listened to. Actually one of the songs that got me into electric light orchestra's music. And happens to be one of my personal favorite. And I guys have to say after listening to this song, all I have to say is, I mean, this song really, really hits that perfect sweet spot between pop sensibility and orchestral rock sophistication. Right from the bat, the instrumentation grabs you. There's no denying that. I mean, you got that driving rhythm guitar, that groovy clavinet riff, giving it this funky, almost disco tinged type of energy, layered beautifully under the lush, string arrangements and that, ELO is famous for. The strings don't just feel overbearing. They to me they complement the rock elements so well and give the song this cinematic larger than life type of quality. Vocally, Jeff Lynne really delivers on here. His voice has that clear slightly nasal tone that I feel like is instantly recognizable, but it's the emotion behind it, that carries the song. In my opinion, you can definitely feel the frustration and disappointment, in the lyrics, and yet there is this almost playful, irony, in the way he sings the chorus. The backing vocals, including the female, harmonies, definitely add depth and really help lift the Evil Woman hook. Those repeated lines, to me are so catchy. They stick in your head, days. They stick in your head, for days. Yeah. So speaking of the lyrics, this song, is essentially, about being burned, by a manipulative lover. Certain lines in there, there's a hole, in my head, where the rain comes in, and you destroyed all the virtues, that the Lord gave you. I feel like those lines, give it that bittersweet, sort of punch. You can hear the hurt, but there's also a sense of empowerment, in calling her out. To me, it's kind of a scorned lover, sort of anthem, but it's done, in such a polished, accessible way that it doesn't feel bittersweet. It's just a sharp and memorable. Yes, production wise, I have to say this is classic. Mid 70s. ELO. I mean, I love the fact that it's clean, it's tight and layered. Without feeling cluttered. You can definitely hear every elements, clearly, the rhythm section, the strings, the keyboards, and to me, it all blends, together seamlessly. The way the orchestral and rock elements, are fused, to me, is just masterclass, in arrangement. Yes, all in all, Evil Woman to me, it's one of those tracks, and that really, really shows why, ELO or Electric Light Orchestra, became such a massive, band. It's catchy, it's emotional, and musically interested. At the same time, it's not just a fun pop tune, if you ask me. I mean, it's clever, it's well crafted, and it definitely sticks with you long after it's over. Yeah. So if I had to sum everything up, in one line, this song proves that Electric Light Orchestra, could make orchestral rock, feel both grand and groovy, all at the same time. And honestly, I could totally see why, this was one of their first major hits. I mean, it's iconic, and it still sounds fresh decades later. Guys, this song was released in 1975. Go figure. Yes, that's just me. That's just my thoughts. That's just my review about the song. Let me know what you guys also think about this one down the comment section. Yes, we are moving on to the fourth song titled NightRider. This I have not heard before. Let's go. Okay.
Somewhere in the rain, the faces of the passers-by, staring faces, broken blinds.
Whoa.
I recall the situation clear.
Okay.
You're standing in a crowded car. I can feel the need in me.
Guys, yes, the first song, the fourth song, Night Rider. Yes, I just, finished listening, to this one. And honestly, this one really, really hits, in that classic, ELO, type of way. I mean, right from the very first note, you can tell, there's so much, going on. And I mean that in the best, possible way. For the vocals, I mean, we have Jeff Lynne, and I feel like his voice is, as always, super distinct, smooth, melodic, and kind of, haunting in this track. I really, really liked, how Kelly Crooked, comes in for the second verse, to me added this unexpected, texture, and makes a song, feel more like a conversation than just, a solo narration. The harmonies, are rich, without feeling overdone, and that layered vocal effect, I mean, where, it almost blends with the strings. I feel like gives it this dreamy, ethereal vibe. It's just so signature ELO. The instrumentation, guys, I loved it. I mean, the strings, are incredible. Right from the start, you get this soft, almost introspective keyboard, and then the song slowly, builds, with drums and those, lush, string arrangements, and then there is that little, string crescendo, at about 3 minutes in. I honestly felt like I should replay that part because it's such I mean such a cool effect. But then I'll do that when I'm listening to this off camera. I also love the way the song shifts between the calm, almost moody verses and the more driving orchestral chorus. To me, was masterful. It's like a mini symphony compressed into 4.5 minutes. You can really, really hear Jeff Lynne's production genius. I mean, everything is layered perfectly, and even though it's complex, it never feels chaotic. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes, but I loved it. Lyrically, this song, I mean, it's classic, ELO storytelling. There's a sense of movement and searching. The Night Rider to me is both literal and metaphorical. I mean, someone moving through the night, but also, on an emotional journey. The imagery, is so vivid. Faces in the rain, broken blinds, and a crowded car. There's this sense of longing and isolation. But then also moments, of beauty, especially with that line about the girl who kills me, with her smile. It's definitely a bittersweet feeling, which is exactly the kind of emotional complexity I love in Jeff Lynne's writing. So yeah, honestly, Night Rider, I have to say after listening to it, this song is so underrated. It's not one of their big chart toppers, but I mean it's a perfect example of what makes Electric Light Orchestra, this band, so unique. I mean orchestral rock that's so ambitious, but also emotionally resonant. The vocals, the instrumentation, and the storytelling, all come together, to create this cinematic, immersive experience. So yeah, if you are into, classic rock, with a touch of symphonic flair, I feel like this song, it's an absolute must listen. I can see why, hardcore fans consider this a hidden gem. It's one of those tracks that grows from you. I mean, the more you really, really pay attention to the layers. Yes, I mean, if I had to rate this, I'll definitely give this a hard 8.5, out of 10. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys also think about this one down in the comment section. Let me know if you're enjoying this review, this reaction so far. Please like this video. We are moving on to the fifth song titled Poker. Yes, Poker. Let's take a listen, guys.
Joker's closing in. Reform and they will win. The light is fading fast. I know, they know, we all know. Everybody's gonna burn down. The girls, I'm calling on all fours. sliding up your sleeve will cause the world to grieve. The love you had is gone. Enough, we all know the dream in every player's heart to win it all, not part. They'll lie awake at night. Enough, we all know the game. The gamblers rule the night and get your blood they might. The joke is closing in. Enough, we all know.
Okay, guys, yeah, that was the fifth song titled Poker. Yes, like I said from the beginning, first time, hearing this song. And honestly, I feel like this track is definitely, a hidden gem, from this album, Face the Music. Right from the start, I was able to feel that, high energy rock vibe. I love the fact that this song is punchy, fast paced, and has this, slightly edgy feel that I wasn't expecting from ELO. I mean, the vocals, yes. Unfortunately, Jeff Lynne didn't do the vocals on this one. The lead on this one, was done by Kelly Grucut. Guys, forgive me if I'm not mentioning the name right. Which is interesting because to me, it gives a song a fresh texture compared to a typical ELO track. His voice carries a raw almost urgent tone that I feel like fits the theme urgently. You can definitely hear the tension in his delivery, which makes sense. Given the song's gambling metaphor. It's like he's on edge, risking everything with every single word. Jeff Lynne's harmonies also come in suddenly later, adding that familiar ELO polish, but it's Kelly Grucut who really drives the vocal narrative on this particular song. Instrumentally, I loved it. This song, is a lot of fun. The guitar riffs, are definitely fast, and they are energetic, almost, leaning towards, a proto-punk, edge in parts, while, Bennon's, drums, keep a relentless pace, with some really sharp feels that I feel like I push the energy forward. I love the Moog synthesizer by Richard Tandy, and I feel like definitely adds a quirky, almost futuristic layer that makes the track uniquely ELO, even in this rock driven song. There's also a brief, slower edge, in the middle, that I feel like a contrast, nicely with a, otherwise, rapid pace, giving a little, emotional pause, before it kicks back in. Yes, one may ask me, what is the song all about? After listening to the song, after checking out the lyrics, to me, poker, is all about risk. It's all about deception and emotional stakes. Using the metaphor of gambling, the Joker and the Ace, up your sleeve imagery, to me makes the song feel like a a high stakes type of game, not just literal but emotionally. It's definitely a clever way to explore relationships, and risk taking. And I really like, how the lyrics repeat that collective awareness line. I know, they know, we all know. Definitely gives the song this almost conspiratorial, sort of energy. You can definitely tell there's a bit of danger, a bit of tension and inevitability built right into the storytelling. Yes, overall, Polka, is one of those tracks, that surprises you, at first listen. I love the fact that for this, being my first time listening to this song, I mean, it's definitely energetic. It's a little gritty, and definitely not your typical, orchestral ELO song, But I feel like that's part of its charm. I mean, it's fun, it's tight and well produced, and I think it stands out as an underrated track, in their catalog. Definitely something I could see myself, coming back to, especially, if I'm in the mood for a punchy, rock infused, ELO track, with some clever, lyrical storytelling. Yes, I'll definitely give this a hard 9. So let me know down in the comment section if you love this track. Please, share your thoughts about it, down the comment section. All right, guys. So yes, we're moving on to the said song titled "Strange Magic." Yes, let's take a listen, guys.
Sailing softly through the sun.
Okay.
In a broken Stone Age dawn, you fly so high. I get a strange magic on water. Strange magic. Oh, it's so good. Strange magic.
Okay, guys. Yes. So that was our strange magic. The said song, off of this album, Face the Music. And after listening to it, guys, I have to say this song, is something else, and I mean that, in the best in the possible way. I mean, first off, the vocals. Jeff Lynne's voice, to me, is just, so smooth and dreamy. Here, on this particular song, he has that, soft and almost ethereal tone that I feel like are perfectly, matches, the psychedelic, vibe of the song. I love the fact that it's not overpowering, but it really, really, draws you in as a listener, especially when he layers the harmonies, those backing vocals. I think also, adds a lush, texture, that makes the whole track, feel like, it's floating in this magical, otherworldly space. Yes, vocally, Jeff Lynne really, really went in and they killed it. Now, we definitely have to talk about the instrumentation because, wow, ALO really, really outdid themselves, right from the very beginning. I love the fact that the song, grabs you, with that swirling phase, 12 string acoustic guitar. It has this, haunting, weeping quality that's just, mesmerizing in my opinion. Then, I mean, the strings definitely come in, and I love the fact that it's rich and it's full, weaving around the guitars, and the drums. The way the drums, suddenly kick in later, building tension without ever, overwhelming the track. It definitely shows just how careful and deliberate Jeff Lynne was with this arrangement. And the keyboard lines, they almost sing along, with the guitar. It's also cohesive and polished, like a perfect, orchestral, pop, psychedelic, type of mix. Lyrically and thematically, Strange Magic to me is exactly, what the title promises. It's about that, enchanting, almost surreal feeling, of being captivated by someone, the kind of love, or attraction that feels like magic, strange and mesmerizing. The song has this, dreamlike, quality where I feel like you almost, feel like, you are being transported, somewhere else, floating along with music. Overall, this track, is just, a beautiful piece of 70s, craftsmanship. I love the fact that it's melodic, emotionally engaging, and every single element, from the vocals, to the strings, to the guitar, works together seamlessly. After listening to it, I can confidently say, it's one of those songs, that make you stop and really, really appreciate the artistry behind it. Yes, so guys, if you're a fan, of lush, melodic and slightly psychedelic rock, I feel like a Strange Magic, is an absolute must listen. But that's just me. That's just, what I think about it. Let me know what you guys want to think about this one down in the comment section. Guys, we are moving on to the seventh song, Down Hometown. Yes, let's take a listen, guys. Okay, Strange Magic transitions into Down Hometown.
The world outside don't like us much, 'cause they ain't got our classy touch.
Whoa.
But they ain't good enough to breathe. This town's good here, we make them leave.
Okay.
But it's no, really can't do that. No, not hometown. The monkey business in this town. Who do you think you're pushing round? This town's respectable and clean. Just look around, you'll see what I mean. But it's no, really can't do that. No, down hometown. Down hometown. Down hometown. the land of Dixie. Look away, look
Okay, guys. Yes, the seventh song titled "Down Hometown." Wow, first time hearing this song, and I have to say, after listening to it, all I have to say is, guys, this one, is a little, different, from what, I usually expect, from ELO. I mean, right off the bat, I love how the songs, opened up, with this, really, really unusual, reversed, intro, a backmax, snippet, from their song Waterfall. I mean, it's kind of subtle, but it immediately, sets this, quirky, slightly mysterious vibe, before the main song, kicks in. Guys, I have to say that I really, really appreciate that, little production touch. It's classic Jeff Lynne. Always, thinking, outside the box. Now, the vocals. So, Jeff Lynne, I love how, he took a very distinct, approach, on this particular song. His voice, has this nasal, almost, hold down style quality, which is, pretty different, from his smoother, more polished, ELO leads, on songs like Evil Woman and Street Magic. Definitely gives the song, this playful, small town, storytelling sort of energy, like he's narrating, a local tale from a really proud, a tight knit, sort of community. The backing vocals, are really, really nice too. There's a lot of, four part, harmonies, going on, in the chorus sections. And you can definitely tell the female singers, had, some creative freedom. Those little, I feel you coming, down now lines, are really, really subtle. But to me, after listening to this, song, I feel like they add, so much texture. Instrumentation wise, this is where, the song really, really stands out, in my opinion. The strings, are super prominent, but in a way that's more, folk-like than orchestral. It almost feels like a fiddle back in, a country or American, folk tune, which is very unique, for Electric Light Orchestra. I mean, the rhythm section is also very, very tight, but understated, letting the strings, and the vocals, shine all the way through. And those little, musical notes, like, She Loves You, No, No, No Beatles, reference, definitely shows Jeff Lynne's playful side and his, obvious love, for the classics. Yes, lyrically, I feel like this song, seems to poke a little fun, at small town pride. It's like a tongue-in-cheek look at the town, that's super confident, in itself, maybe a little insular, but in a charming, almost an affectionate sort of way. You get this, sense of community pride, in the lines about a town band, and the down home chorus. It's also nostalgic, a little satirical, but overall very, very catchy. After listening to the song, I'd say "Down Hometown," is one of those, hidden gems, from this album. Face the Music. It's not a chart-topping single, but to me, it might feel, a little out of place, if you are expecting the big ELO boom blast. But that's part of its charm, if you ask me. I mean, it's quirky, it's playful. And I mean, it really, really showcases Jeff Lynne's, versatility as a songwriter and producer. I mean, the vocals, the folk-inspired string, and the cheeky lyrics, all come together to create something that's fun, that's something that's memorable, and something that's, distinctly ELO. Yes. So if you're a fan of, ELO's, experimentation, and your love, for blending orchestral sounds, with rock, this track is definitely a cool piece, to actually explore. Yes, it's like a hidden gem in the slice of Americana filtered through, Jeff Lynne's, brilliant mind. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's just exactly what I think about this song. So please let me know down in the comment section. Let me know if you really, really enjoyed the song. Share your thoughts down in the comment section, guys. We are moving on to the final song, from this album, One Summer Dream. Let's take a listen, guys.
touching the hearts of those who forget. One summer dream, one summer dream, bird on the wing goes floating by, but there's a teardrop in his eye. One summer dream, one summer dream, one summer dream, one summer dream. Deep waters flow onto the sea. Warm summer breeze blows endlessly. One summer dream, one summer dream. One summer dream. One summer dream, 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 one summer dream.
Okay, guys. Yes. So that was the final song, the eighth song, of this album. One Summer Dream. Yes. After listening to it, I definitely have to say once again that, that was something else. This is the kind of track that I feel like, grows on you the longer, you let it sink in. Starting, with the vocals, guys. Jeff Lynne, is just mesmerizing here. His voice, is soft, it's definitely dreamy and incredibly emotive. There's a kind of gentle yearning in his delivery that perfectly matches, the nostalgic and reflective mood of the song. The female backing vocals, are layered, in the chorus. To me, also, gives it this ethereal, almost a celestial type of feel that makes the song feel like it's floating above the listener. It's subtle but incredibly effective. Moving to the instrumentation. As always, this is classic ELO at their symphonic best. The orchestral strings at the start immediately draws you in as a listener, creating this lush dreamy atmosphere. As the song progresses, as you listen to the song, you get this delicate layer and of acoustic guitars, gentle piano, and that signature orchestral backing. It's definitely not, bombastic. To me, it's restrained, it's elegant, and hypnotic. The way the instrumentation, builds and fades and parts really, really reinforces, the dreamy, almost, melancholic vibe, of the track. And then that, fade out, at the end, with the repeated line, one summer dream, definitely leaves you lingering, on the emotion of the song long after, it's over. In terms of, what the song is all about, to me, it feels like a bittersweet reflection on fleeting moments, summer memories, love that might be lost, or, unfulfilled, and a kind of, gentle longing. The imagery in the lyrics, mountains, valleys, flowing waters, definitely gives it, this in the sense of, searching, of being caught between nostalgia and melancholy. It's a very introspective piece, almost like a soft meditation at the end, of this album. Yes, after listening to it overall, One Summer Dream, to me is one of those, songs that might not have been a huge commercial hit, but it's a hidden gem, in this band's catalog. Definitely showcases Jeff Lynne's, songwriting brilliance, his ability to blend, rock, pop, and orchestral elements, into something that feels, timeless. The vocals are intimate, the instrumentation is exquisite, and the overall mood is hauntingly beautiful, guys. Yeah, so if you are into symphonic rock, reflective melodies, or just a song that makes you stop and feel, I feel like this one is definitely worth a deep listen. Honestly, it's the kind of track that makes you want to close your eyes and just let the music wash all over you. Yes, that's just me, and an amazing closer, I have to say. I loved it, guys. I definitely loved it. So let me know what you think about this song down in the comment section. Let me know how it made you feel the first time you you heard it. Yes. So guys, that was Electric Light Orchestra with the album Face the Music. This is actually, like I said from the beginning, this is actually my first time listening to an album of theirs in its entirety. And after listening to it, I have to say, I definitely have to mention some of the standout moments for me. I really loved, the string arrangements. They are not just decorative. They definitely drive the storytelling. I also loved Jeff Lynne's vocal production. It's warm, it's multi-layered and emotional, and the genre fusion aspect of this album blew my mind. Pop, prog, classical, folk, rock, disco. ELO blends it all seamlessly on this album. Yes, I also love the cinematic transitions, especially between Fire on High and Waterfall, and later Strange Magic, into Down Hometown. Yes. Yeah, I loved it, guys. Musical personality. This album definitely sounds like nobody else. Yes, I definitely give this one a second listen. So, Face the Music to me is one of those albums that feels like a complete world. It's adventurous, it's experimental, and emotional, and beautifully melodic. ELO really proved they weren't just a band. They were a whole universe of sound. Guys, that's just me. That's just what I think about this album. So, I really want to hear from you guys. What's your favorite track? On this album, Face the Music. Did Fire on High freak you out the first time too? Please let me know down in the comment section. And yes, and it's this song, Strange Magic, one of the greatest ELO songs ever written. Please drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everything, guys. If you really enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely helps the channel more than you know. And hey, if you want me to review another ELO album, please let them know down the comment section. Shoot me the title and I'll definitely be sitting here and listening to it and sharing my thoughts about it. Guys, if you stuck with me to the end of the video, you're loved. You're very much appreciated on here. My name is Philip. And also the next music reaction. Take care, stay safe. Peace out.